The woman was stunned. She discovered her husband, who had been dead for 20 years, was still alive. The moment he saw her, he froze on the spot. He even let go of Annie, who had just died in the crash. Gasoline spilled all over the ground. The car was about to explode. Everyone ran away in fear, but he ignored it all and ran straight toward her. Seeing the guilt in his eyes, she finally asked the question buried in her heart. Why didn't you die? If you were alive, why didn't you come for me? And who was the one lying on the ground? He didn't answer. He only said, if he could live again. He wished he had never met her. Then he picked her up and shielded her from the blast, using his body to protect her, trying to make up for 20 years of guilt. The next second, time rewound. When she opened her eyes again, she was back 20 years ago, before his fake death, looking at the gentle man she once loved. She couldn't understand why he lied to her, but this time, she swore to uncover the truth. She didn't know when he began betraying her, until she saw Annie with her own eyes, and watched him hold Annie close. Annie cried that she didn't want to be the third wheel. He comforted her, saying she wasn't a third party, just to wait a little longer. He already had a plan. The woman's suspicion was confirmed. This time she would fake her own death first, so he could taste the pain of losing a loved one. That night she called her mother, asking her to send a private plane in 3 days, and to stage a plane crash. She remembered how he used to spend every night by her side. Now he lied about overtime just to stay with Annie. Her heart broke, and she fell asleep in sorrow. When she woke again, he was there, carrying her favorite cake. But when she opened it, she realized Annie had eaten some. He rushed to explain that Annie was afraid she would faint from low blood sugar, so she had eaten a few bites. The woman didn't believe it. She said anything already eaten belonged in the trash. Soon it was their 7th wedding anniversary. She wanted to spend one last day with him, but Annie suddenly burst in crying, throwing herself into his arms. She claimed her uncle tried to assault her. He hugged her tightly. Everyone could see their closeness, and the woman became the laughingstock. A friend warned him not to cross the line, but he declared for Annie's safety, he was going to fake his own death and leave all his company shares and properties to her. The friend reminded him his wife wasn't lacking money, but he insisted Annie needed him more. Without him she couldn't live. Hearing his plan with her own ears, the woman's heart turned cold. She guessed he would be happy tomorrow when he heard of her death. But Annie wasn't done. She led her uncle to the hospital and had him caught sneaking into the ward. The uncle accused the woman of ordering him to do it. Annie put on a pitiful act, asking why the woman would hurt her this way. He saw the look they shared, but still chose to believe them. He stormed into the woman's office, explaining that he and Annie were just colleagues, and she shouldn't attack Annie out of jealousy. The woman asked if he really believed she was behind it. He didn't answer. Instead, he demanded she film an apology to restore Annie's reputation, and warned her if he didn't see it by 9 a.m. tomorrow, Annie would sue her, even send her to prison. What he didn't know was tomorrow would be her day of departure. That night she walked through their empty home, remembering how he once wanted to give her the best of everything. Now there was no warmth left. She packed her bags, took one last look at the house they shared for 7 years, and left for her staged disappearance. Meanwhile, he and Annie sat in front of the TV, waiting for her apology. But what appeared instead was her lawyer. Facing reporters, he announced the husband had been cheating. He was stunned. Only then did he realize she had known all along, and as he thought of all the things he had done with Annie, he began